Welcome to another episode of the Common Ground Show. I am your host, SG, here with WT, and today's episode is going to be what is happening in the world. WT, what is happening in the world right now, man? Tell us a little bit.
Well, your NPR introduction was
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. I try, you know me.
But what's happening in the world, something I don't know if a lot of people have been following, is the Thailand and Cambodia going to war.
When you think of war, the last thing that you think is Thailand. Like, they're peaceful people.
They're Buddhist
They're
for the
exactly.
majority.
They are Buddhists. They don't. I mean, why? What is happening with that, man?
Okay, so apparently this goes back to colonists.
Oh
Okay,
God.
from
Okay.
what I understand, French colonists. So it dates back to the colonial area where more than 270,000 people from both sides, about a 508-mile land border, were displaced.
That sounds a little bit more like Gaza right there, but okay.
However, the reason therefore is at war is because of Buddhist sites. They're Hindu temples about 95 miles apart that both countries want to claim.
Mm. Crazy that it's always about religion, man. It's always, but Thailand, man. Thailand. When I heard about this, I was like, this must be a typo. Like, when have they ever gone into war or made it into like actual news? So I heard there is a ceasefire right now, right? But for how long do you think it's gonna be?
Well, they're already both claiming that the ceasefire has already been broken.
Oh,
However, I do know how Thailand wins this war.
do tell.
Front line of ladyboys. Who could be scarier than a front line running at you of
Mm,
ladyboys?
that is true. And as a backup, you get like the master cheat. No, well, that sorry guys, that kind of a little racist. Whatever monks they are, no disrespect, but whatever monks, man, they can kick some
Dude,
ass.
I'm ready for the war of the monks.
Could you imagine?
I mean,
They have discipline. They have the strength. I mean, they can break bricks with their bare like fists.
at 90 years old.
Exactly. Like, have you seen the 10-year-old monks? Like, they do it. They look like they're doing break dancing. They are moving like spider monkeys, like break dancing. I'm sorry, no disrespect to any country, but just the title of this, man. Who would ever thought that?
Whoever thought of it? And the thing is, though, is that the rest of the world had no clue that this was even an issue.
It caught us by surprise.
It did.
Was this like on Fox and NBC and all that? I have not seen it. I'll be honest with you,
Apparently,
I haven't.
from my studies, this is something that's been going on since colonialism, and all of a sudden it exploded.
Until you told me, I had zero idea that this was happening. That is wild. Well, I hope that, and this is the problem. I feel that both sides can say, you broke the ceasefire. Well, you broke the ceasefire. And did they really, or is it more of a, we want to fight, we want to have a war, we got to get out of our systems? I feel like this is not the first time in history that countries just find random things just to get into a war. I think we all know kind of what we're referring to, just to get out of their system, just because they, I don't know if they're just bored or they run out of things to do.
Yeah, the thing about ceasefires, I think you can't say somebody violated a ceasefire until 24 hours after it's made. The reason for that is because, so you have governments that agree on something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that doesn't mean the soldiers get that information immediately.
Right,
Right,
exactly.
so 5 hours later, they're like, "Oh, he broke the ceasefire." Well, everybody might not know yet,
And can it be fabricated? I mean, in
and
reality,
also they've got to verify that
right.
that actually happened.
And it takes time. You can't just
It
go straight into
does.
the battlefield and be like, oh, nope, they broke it. There's got to be a process. And I am sure there is a process set in place for these kinds of things. But,
And
God,
also, let's talk about this. It's Cambodia and Thailand. These aren't the state of the art military
right,
institutions that we're used to. So
right,
communication is probably not up to the standards we would think of.
right. Well, thankfully, they don't have nuclear weapons, so we don't have to be worried about that. I
No,
mean,
no,
that's a
no.
plus.
They definitely don't have nuclear weapons. I don't even know what weapons they have, but I have a feeling they might be kind of Soviet era.
Mm. Yep, yep, yep. It's just Thailand, really?
I know.
Like, I just can't get past that.
Or Cambodia. Who in the world has ever heard anything negative about Cambodia?
Right? Or we're saying Canada's going to war. What? Canada?
Right?
What?
It's the exact same thing.
It is just, it is mind boggling. But I hope that the ceasefire can resume. They can figure out what's going on. And I'm sure the US is going to get involved with it.
Yeah, no, no. Apparently, the U.S. is involved about the ceasefire, but it's like any other ceasefire. Will it hold? Is it going to hold for 24 hours or is it going to hold for 20 years? That's the problem with ceasefire. You never know. I mean, North Korea and South Korea are still technically at war.
That is true. And how long it's been? I mean,
I
wow.
mean, forever. So that's the thing, is that a ceasefire doesn't mean peace.
Right.
It just means we're not firing at each other right now.
That is true. And talking about war, I think we got to talk a little bit about Russia and Ukraine. I think we can both agree that it's just got to be over, right? It's got to end. It just has to end. I mean, we don't have to tell you over podcast that it has to end. And you mentioned something that people are not going to be happy. Either side are not going to be happy with the ending, but it has to be done.
It does. And I know the majority of the world is rooting for Ukraine.
Right.
But at some point, you got to realize Russia has millions more people. They manufacture their own weapons. And at a certain point, I mean, the reports are in Ukraine, they're already using conscripts. I mean, you can't take people that are not professional military and put them in there and expect an outcome. Ukraine needs to accept they're going to lose some territory.
Right. I mean, I don't think you can avoid that.
I don't think you can either. And look, as much as I think Ukraine was completely violated, you're talking about a small country going to war with a superpower.
Right. It's like the US invading another country. At the end of the day, it's going to happen.
I know you've got
It's
US,
gonna happen.
Russia, and China as the big superpowers. And unfortunately, a superpower is attacking you, and there's just no way to win. So just stop it. You got to eat some crow on this.
Yeah.
You got to say,
have
hey,
to.
we shouldn't have continued this long. I'm sorry, we're losing some territory, but I don't want any more of our conscripts, our women, or our children killed. And as much as everybody hates it, it's got to end.
How much longer do you think it's going to continue?
I think it's going to be over by wintertime. The reason for that is because over there in the wintertime, there's not much fighting happening. And I don't think Russia wants to go through another winter.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal the last winter. I believe that they
Right.
lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers.
And I think that's why Putin has been upping the attacks, is because he wants this over by winter. And so, and you remember where they are, it gets cold. So we're
It
talking
really
about
does.
3-4 months before it starts getting winter. And the issue with winter there, they have the in the spring they have the permafrost.
Right.
So not only do you have winter's an issue, when it starts thawing, you've got the permafrost for the tanks. Putin's going to end this one way or another.
And we're our next segment is going to be basically talking about birth. What is it that we're going to talk about?
Oh, decline in birth
Declining
rates.
birth. So was it World War II, the Cold War, whatever it was, that Russia lost millions of soldiers or whatever amount it was, and there was more women than men, right? So they
Yeah, it was
couldn't-
World War II.
So is this repeating itself?
Of course, it's repeating itself, except this time it's going to be for Russia, but it's going to be huge for Ukraine. There's not going to be a baby boom after this for Ukraine.
No, absolutely not.
Like, this is going to be.
I think both countries are gonna really suffer on that.
And both countries are, but it's just Russia has the numbers of people to reproduce where Ukraine doesn't. And if you end up with basically you're going to end up with a lost generation. You're going to end up to where the Ukrainians that survive once there's peace, they're going to procreate, but it's not going to be in the numbers they're used to.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I believe that Russia was still trying to recover from World War II with the numbers that they've lost, right?
Yeah, Russia. The problem with
No,
Russia
take
is
this
a
as another
huge
blow.
country,
It really is.
but it's so spread out.
Mhm.
And also, they have a lot of indigenous population there. You know,
That's right.
they have a kind of medium population of Russian Jews.
Oh wow,
So
I didn't
you
know
have
that.
people that don't necessarily intermix with each other,
Right.
which is also going to hurt population numbers.
It really will, absolutely. And again, I think the only thing right now to do is they gotta come to the table. They gotta figure out enough is enough. We both lost enough. It's not getting any better. It just gotta be over. We'll divide the assets however it's gotta be divided, but the bloodshed's gotta end.
It does. It's got to end. And I always thought the Ukraine thing is that the U.S. should be in or they should be out.
Out.
They
Not just dipping your toes.
Right. There shouldn't be this proxy war because the proxy war is we do nothing, but yet the taxpayers pay for it.
Right.
So you're either in or you're out. I don't like the proxy wars. The number one reason I don't like it is because we don't know how the money's being spent. We don't know how the weapons are being used.
Right.
We're just giving
Are
it
the
to them.
soldiers actually being equipped with what they need instead of, decommissioned weapons or, artillery or whatever the case might be? And I think it's enough. I mean, the Ukraine-Russia war has been going on for what, like 2 years now, it seems like?
No, yeah, it's been a few years now. Also, Ukraine was listed as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. That doesn't mean that they're wrong for what happened to
Right.
them, but it also means you got to kind of worry, where's the money going?
Right.
I mean, there's unaccounted money. In the end, Zelensky's going to leave. He's going to come to the U.S., and I won't be surprised if he's worth $500 or $600 million.
I guess only time is going to tell.
However, I think Putin's at the point in his life to where he doesn't care
No,
anymore.
he doesn't. He really doesn't care at this point. I
He-
mean, I think he's going all in. Got to go all in.
I
He's not
agree.
dipping his toe. He's going all in.
And the speculation is because he's sick, maybe has some sort of cancer, and so he's reached the part in his life to where he's like, I know I'm gonna die sooner than I thought.
So I'm going to go
So
with the
why
bang.
not go out with a bang?
Absolutely.
And that's why he refuses to negotiate. He'll say I'm going to do one thing, and then 12 hours later do
Does
something
something completely
He's
different.
just giving the finger to the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think only time is going to be able to tell. And God, I really hope that it's going to end soon because this is just way too long.
Because in the end, an 18-year-old Russian has nothing to do with Putin,
Absolutely.
and an 18-year-old Ukrainian has nothing to do with Zelensky.
Yep. And they're fighting their wars.
Right.
And that is just so wrong.
Every side has kids dying, and both sides, their kids are patriots. That's why they're in the military, but they're the ones dying.
Yep.
And no family deserves to hear that your 18 or 19-year-old kid was killed in a war they didn't understand.
Exactly. You are being born into the war, forged into the war of the people before you. And
Exactly.
you don't know why. It's just, oh, we're at war and we're just at war. So you grew up that way and you grew up basically being a war fighter. I mean, hating the other side without even understanding of why.
I know, and I just feel so bad for the Russian parents and the Ukrainian parents that they get a visit from the military, that their
gonna draft
18-year-old
them.
kid, 19-year-old kid just died in a senseless war.
Exactly. That is, I mean, our hearts go out for everybody out there, but it's just gotta end, and only time is gonna be able to tell. And I really hope that by this winter things are gonna be over. So, but we'll see. And following up a little bit with the whole declining birth rates that we talked about, I think Japan and China are being hit the hardest with them.
Yeah, China. It's funny. It's for completely different reasons. So China, with their one-child policy,
Mm.
which lasted a couple of decades.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
been going on for a while,
yeah,
right?
and they're up to a two-child policy, and I think they might even be up to a three-child policy now.
Wasn't it before like only one? Like you could
Yeah,
only have
it was
one?
only one, and they prioritized males over females.
I do remember reading that.
So you've got a huge problem with people having kids because there's not enough females for the males. So
Hmm.
this is a government policy.
Right.
However, the cultural issue is Japan. The average age to lose your virginity in Japan is 19 and a half years old.
19 and a half?
It's crazy.
That is crazy in this era. In
Now
the
get
20th
this.
century?
Now get this. 25% of 18 to 39-year-olds are still virgins.
Wow. That's hard to believe. I mean, maybe because we in the Midwest and we just fuck like rabbits.
I know, right?
I
Well,
mean-
in the Midwest, it's cold. What else can you do?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. That is-
So apparently in Japan, they're so involved in their careers and making their families proud, and just the different points of their lifestyle that you've got these 20-year-olds that are just too focused on the career to where they don't even think about sex.
And I'm gonna hit you with something. Have you heard or seen Elon Musk? I think their AI model is Grok. It's the app that you can download.
Oh,
And-
Elon's gonna repopulate the world.
Oh, trust me, I know.
You're gonna end up with 30 kids before long.
So he has successfully created this AI girlfriend. And if you've seen any videos, I mean, we might be able to post it here so you can see it. So basically, they call him waifus, right? Which is a wife, whatever. And it is so crazy. She flirts with you, she calls you names. It's not like a robot where it's like, oh, hi, hello. It is like another person is talking to you, and it's gonna cost, I believe, $30 to $40. How is that helping Japan, China, where you already have people that marry their sex dolls?
Well, and how's it going to help in the US? Because think about it. Not only do we have a generation that grew up social media, video games, and have lost a lot of social skills. Now
A very
they're going
big lack of social
to
skills.
now
I
they're
feel
going
like
to
if you
pay for
notice.
AI and they never feel rejection.
And people are gonna pay, even if it was $50 a month, people will still pay $50 to feel that connection that somebody cares. And
It's
that is
true.
the market towards lonely people, I feel like, is one of the biggest untapped markets out there.
It really is. And think about it. Men and women live completely different lives when it comes to rejection.
Absolutely.
Growing up, you have to learn as a guy that there's going to be a lot of rejection.
Absolutely.
And women not as much.
Well, and you got to remember, some guys take it better than others.
Exactly. And the ones that don't take it better are going to be the ones that turn to the AI. But then again, that means they're never going to have the courage to take the possible rejection
Right.
of the opposite sex.
It's like you got to be able to, if you want to fight, you got to be able to take a punch. It
You
is
do.
exactly the same thing.
You do. But the thing is, though, is that a guy's life in dating is 90% rejection.
It is. Or
A
sometimes.
girl's life in dating is 90% rejecting other people.
Absolutely.
So you're coming from two different, and that's why there's not a big boom on AI boyfriends for girls.
I didn't think of it
It's
that way.
only one direction.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are the cases right out there.
Of course, there's cases, but how many times you ever see advertisements for AI boyfriends for girls?
Not a lot.
See, that's the thing.
You're right about that. So, how much money is Elon Musk gonna make out of an AI girlfriend?
Oh, billions, because there's no overhead.
And you got to remember, what if you can incorporate your AI? I mean, I think possibly you can do it already, but let's say that you drive the Tesla, right? You have the smart home. what if you can incorporate that AI girlfriend into your car, into your home? So when you're in your car, you can talk to her. When you're home, you can say, honey, I'm home. And it will talk to you through the speakers. That's the whole experience.
But do you get an AI blowjob in your Tesla? That's
No.
the question.
No, you cannot get a blowjob from an AI yet.
Yet.
Hey,
no, the new thing is going to be, you know how people they get caught with drunk driving, they have to blow into
Oh,
the
God,
thing
I
to start
see
their
where this
car?
is going.
It's going to be the exact opposite.
And thanks to Autopilot, honey, can you drive me to work while you suck my dick?
Exactly. That's what it's going to become.
God, that's what the world has become to. Wow. See? So why would guys want to go to the bar? Why would a guy want to spend $80 cover, $20 a drink just to get rejected? I mean, it's pretty compelling.
No, it really
Really
is. Also, dating has become so difficult because the difference between being hit on or being harassed is how the guy looks.
It's a very thin line.
It
I
is
feel it's a
because
very thin
if you're
sheet
a
of ice.
5 guy and you go after a 10 girl, it's harassment. If you're a 9 guy going after a 10 girl, it's flirting. So there's so many standards that guys just can't live up to these days, or they're too scared to try. I think that's more of it. They're just too scared.
And this is not helping, right? I mean, this is just not helping. It's like working remotely, right? So many people get so comfortable working remotely, and they're like, I don't have to ever leave to the office. Why would I go anywhere else where I can just do everything from home?
Well, and that kills social skills as well.
Social skills been dead for a while, I feel like. Well, they haven't been dead, but they've been declining.
Well, and also COVID didn't help anything. You think online schooling for kids helps social abilities?
Oh God, no, absolutely not.
That was probably the worst thing to ever happen to a kid going through puberty, going through finding themselves. That was probably the worst thing ever. Because get this, you're a 13-year-old, you go into online learning for 2 years, you go back to school as a 15-year-old. You've missed 2 years
Of social interaction.
not only with your friends, the opposite sex.
Right.
So you're basically reverting back to your 13-year-old self on how to talk to somebody you like.
Right. And not just that, but basic common sense and survival skills of things not to do.
Oh,
So all that gets lost in translation.
you're right. It is. It's the online learning thing. Obviously, it was a failure for every country. You just can't learn online. I mean, I've taken courses online for other languages. It doesn't work. It works when you're in front of somebody,
Right.
where you have the interaction.
See, exactly. Like I've always been a learner that I have to do something. If I can read a whole book on how to do something and I won't be able to do it. But if you showed me how to do this, I will be able to follow exactly what you did and do it.
You're right.
And that gets
Hands-on,
lost. It's hands-on.
is always better
And it will always be better.
because you can touch it, you can feel it, you can experience it. But watching somebody on a computer screen or TV screen, it's just not the same.
And I think we can really go on about this all day, basically, from iPad kids to parents not wanting to pay attention to their kids because it's a lot easier to give them, a tablet or whatever the case is. The case is that we are losing something as humans. We've been losing so much social interaction of wanting to find each other and just experience those life moments. And that is disappearing.
It is, and this goes back to declining birth rates.
It really it is.
When something is guaranteed for $40, why would you risk your self-esteem?
Their pride.
Right, their pride,
Yep.
their self-esteem. Why risk it?
So do you think we're gonna see a really big decline in new babies in certain countries now? I mean, we already seen
Well,
it,
we're
but,
already seeing a decline in the U.S.
but to the point where those people, the country or religion or whatever the case might be, could be extinct.
Well, you've got certain religions that, all right, for example, Catholics traditionally don't believe in birth control.
Right.
That's why a lot of Catholic families had 4 kids, 8 kids, 5 kids.
Right.
Okay. Muslim families are the same. The difference is that the Catholics have kind of changed their view on it, but the Muslim families haven't. So the Muslim countries, they're going to be fine. The Christian and Catholic countries, in 100 years, they're going to have some problems.
True.
It is culture. It's different religions. Because, Catholics were hardcore, no birth control for hundreds of years.
WT, you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. You're right. It completely folds into it.
If you guys haven't seen Handmaid's Tale, I highly recommend it. It is an amazing show. And we can make a whole episode about it, honestly. And I think we might. We might actually make a whole episode.
No, I would like to.
I think we should. But that's what it reminds me of. And you know that when humanity is at stake, when your own race is at stake, when your own people are at stake, you do crazy things for survival. We were put in this earth to reproduce and pass the knowledge. So when we stop reproducing, passing the knowledge, then we're at risk.
And we are. And also, the thing about it is that the States has become a place where women and men want to have their own careers.
Right.
All right. If you look at these Muslim countries, it's still very, very traditional.
Right.
The woman stays at home. Okay. With the women at home, that means they can reproduce.
Right.
If a man and a woman are working equal hours, how many kids can they reasonably have to give attention to?
Not a lot.
See, so it comes back to that. The more traditional religious countries are always going to reproduce more because they have the roles of the woman at home.
Right.
And I have nothing wrong with career women, career men. Good for them. But do you think they can have 7 kids? They can have 1 or 2.
Yeah, and back in the day, people used to have 4, 5, 6 kids, each family. And I believe it started dying out, in the 90s maybe, that people started like, no, that's too many. 2, when you ask somebody, how many kids do you want to have? 1. 1 is plenty.
Right, they went. And also, a one-child family, the odds of that kid being entitled goes up so much.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they never learn to share. They never learn to fight it out with their brother or sister.
And we know that that's becoming an issue.
And also the social skills starting as a child before you even get to school.
If you have an older brother, he's got to mess with you. He's got to teach you to defend yourself. He's got to teach you to stand up for yourself. I think that's crucial.
It's true. I had 2 older brothers. And it's funny. They always gave me shit for being the baby of the family because, as parents get older, they get a little more relaxed.
Yeah, with the first one is like, oh my God, like, don't let him get in the cold. By the last one is like, go play outside.
Right.
You're fine in the snow.
So, yeah, my older brothers definitely had it rougher than me. But I think to grow up as a stable person in society, you need to have fought with your brothers, negotiate with your brothers or sisters.
And if you don't have brothers and sisters, go out there. Make social skills, like learn. Again,
also,
that's part of it.
The States, one thing I've noticed about the States, our culture, we don't bring families together as much as other cultures. Like, we don't bring our cousins together like other cultures. So even if you're an only child in another country, but you have a close-knit family, you're still kind of being raised with your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the States, we have a family reunion, once every few years?
Yeah, no, 100%. Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving just because we have everybody. But if you're in Mexico or in any other like Latin American countries, they get together just for any reason. And that, to me, that is beautiful. And I think that's something that I wish we could do more.
However, I think a lot of that is expendable income to where in some countries you can't leave where you grew up.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why families in the U.S. become so spread out, is because of opportunities.
Absolutely.
Whereas a lot of places, and I'm not counting the tourist areas in different places, but a lot of places, it's where you are is where you are.
Absolutely.
And I think because of that, it's a lot easier to get families together. Growing up, I was 5 hours away from my nearest cousin.
Wow. That's pretty far. Growing up, I was maybe 7 to 8 minutes away. So that made it a lot easier.
Well, and also you grew up in a Hispanic culture.
That is true, where that was a priority.
Exactly, because you're Mexican, so you grew up in that Hispanic culture to keep family together.
Exactly.
I don't think most people in the U.S. Appreciate that anymore. I don't think they appreciate family as much as they used to.
And it's fading away more and more and more every time.
It is, and it's sad because, they say it takes a village, right?
Yep.
But if there's no village, there's no support.
Mm-hmm.
Every parent has their ups and downs, but you know what? When you got grandmas, when you got aunts around, it makes a big difference.
Absolutely does.
So you got other people to lean on, whether it becomes emotions, finances. But if your nearest family 7 years ago, there's 7 hours away, there's nobody to lean on.
Absolutely. Plus, come on, man. Driving 7 hours just to see your cousin? No, I'll pass. I think I'm just gonna open Grok and talk to my AI girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sounds
one
funny
thing to
me.
drive 7 hours for your brother or sister, but for a cousin, it's
Yeah.
not gonna. That's like every 3 years we have a family reunion
Exactly.
in a midpoint. Not even like we have a midpoint, right?
No, that is true. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. Some of the things that have been happening around the world. And I got a special treat for you guys. So last time I told my story about the neo-Nazi, and I think we have another story for shitty ways to go out. So why don't you take it away, WT?
All right, I've got an amazing shitty way to go out. So, been married twice. Never been a really great husband. So,
Props to you for being.
well, at least I'm honest.
At least you're
I
honest.
mean, as I've gotten older, I really feel like I could be a better partner now. However, for many years I wasn't. Okay, so my first marriage, I had a job where I was living in one city and I was working in another city about an hour and 20 minutes away.
Okay.
So I got me a girlfriend.
Different zip codes.
Yeah. I got hoes.
On different zip codes. But anyway,
So
so you got a
anyway,
side piece.
And so I met this girl, and this was years and years ago. This was the early 2000s.
Okay.
So I got a girl. I avoided pictures at all cost. So I spent 2-3 nights a week with her, 2 or 3 nights a week at home with my wife. So I avoided pictures. So months and months passed.
And you got to remember, back in the early 2000s, that was a lot easier to avoid pictures than nowadays.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
everything
no.
is being recorded.
No. Back then it was easy. Like you just had not be retarded, and it wasn't that hard.
Or have really, really shitty luck.
Or have really shitty luck. So in the city where the girl lived at the time, they had an aquarium. It had just opened.
God, aquariums are great.
And she wanted to go to the aquarium. Now, this fucking aquarium, at the time, I don't know if they still do, required you to take a picture before you went in on the hopes of selling it to you.
Oh, I mean, that is 100% what they do. It pretty much every amusement park does that now because they know that either the boyfriend or the girlfriend or whatever partner it is, they're gonna buy it because they
Right.
want the memory.
It was like a $25 picture way back then.
Oh, God.
So we did the aquarium, and they had a little cafe inside. And so we were gonna get some coffee, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go outside and smoke real quick."
Right.
Well, I went outside to smoke, and within an hour, I found out that this girl had bought the picture
No, she didn't.
and posted it on Facebook.
Out of all the places, what Facebook?
Yeah. So within an hour, it had gotten back to my wife.
You guys had mutual friends or something, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing, though, is that a mutual friend had introduced me to her for business reasons.
Business reasons.
Okay. So, yeah, it got back to my wife. Now, on top of this, it got back to my damn parents.
How did it make it to your parents?
Because I don't know.
How did it spread? You know,
Because people can't mind their own business.
how did it spread like wildfire?
It did, and this is early 2000s. Like, you wouldn't think this would happen. Like, this was technology before anybody understood the
It's like-
reach of technology.
It's like getting caught with nudes being taken by a Polaroid camera. How did people get it?
I know. So in the meantime, my wife has gone over to my parents' house,
God.
and then my dad. I had my car, but at the time, my mom had a small car
Right.
that I was using to go back and forth because better
For your
gas mileage.
Business trip.
Yeah, for the quotations. Business trip. And so my dad reported the car stolen
No
and
way.
said, "Good luck getting home."
No way. He was. Well, I mean, he was pissed. Imagine your ex-wife.
Oh, no. Yeah. So anyway, everybody can imagine how this lead balloon floated.
Oh God.
But that is a shitty way to go out.
Death by.
Death by a fucking aquarium is what it was. Death by. What do you
I just
mean?
wanted you
Death
to
by an
say
aquarium.
I wanted you to say that's your kryptonite. Death by an aquarium. That is. I think that. I don't know.
All
man.
the months it went on, and it was a fucking aquarium.
A $25 picture too, so he wasn't even just like
Yeah.
a slip off.
I mean, this wasn't being stupid. This wasn't going to places. This was an aquarium.
An aquarium. Did you ever go back to the aquarium?
Fuck no, I didn't go back to the aquarium.
Did you swear off aquariums now? That is a shitty way to go out. I gotta give it to you. That is a shitty way to go out. You did your research. You went an hour and a half away, was it?
Yes.
You went to a place that is public, but I mean, aquariums are underground. So it's not like you're in an open, area and you get caught by the girl buying a $25 picture, posting it on Facebook, and made it to your parents.
While I'm out smoking a cigarette.
God, I hope you enjoyed that cigarette.
Yeah, I went back in and she's like, "Oh, guess what? I bought the picture." I'm like, "Huh?" I was like, "Oh, that's cool." She's like, "Oh, I made it my profile picture on Facebook."
Wait, no way. She made her profile picture.
Oh, of course, we've been together like 6 months.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
No,
that
this
is.
just wasn't like a hidden picture on a timeline. No, this was the profile picture.
Oh, she went all out. She must have really liked you.
I guess.
Okay, well, you know what? I think that is probably the shittiest way to go out.
I mean, obviously, I was wrong in every sense. But goddamn.
Yeah, we don't condone cheating or anything like that.
But goddamn, an aquarium buried
An
me.
aquarium. An aquarium.
Who would have thunk an aquarium?
Goddamn aquarium. Wow.
You know what? Let me tell you what. Those fucking sharks were not worth it.
Hey, sharks are always worth it.
They weren't that day.
I think the cigarette wasn't worth it. Because if you would have not smoked that cigarette, she would have never bought that picture.
Yeah, who the fuck would spend $20 or $25 on the early 2000s on a goddamn picture?
A mistress that really loves you.
Yeah, apparently.
That is wild. Well, thank you for sharing the story, man. I think that's going to go on the top of going out a really shitty way. I know there's going to be plenty more stories. And if we run out of stories, we know some people. And there are so many stories that are ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if they are as ridiculous as getting caught cheating by a goddamn aquarium picture. But I think we can top it next time. So until next time, thank you guys so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. And